What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Miguel and you're watching Miguel EDC, the channel where we talk everything EDC gear here. Today we're going to be looking at this beautiful knife, this beautiful knife right here. This is the American Blade Works Model 1, or ABW for short. That is their logo right there, American Blade Works. They make a number of different knives here, manufactured 100% in the US. This is their Model 1, which in this particular case comes in the Wharncliffe configuration here, and I love this knife a ton. We're gonna get into it here throughout the video. I got a chance to check out this knife via Lefty EDC's knife pass around, so shout out to Kevin for the opportunity. I've been EDCing this knife for about a week or so. Also, shout out to JD for EDC. I believe this one belongs to him, as a matter of fact. So check out JD for EDC's channel. Right, give him a sub if you're not already subscribed to his channel. And I've had a chance to EDC this knife for about a week almost. I'm getting ready to send it back. We really don't get a chance to spend a ton of time with these knives when we get them as part of the pass around, but we do have a good amount of days where we can carry it nonstop and just gather as much feedback as we possibly can, and that is exactly what I've done here with this one here. So we're gonna get into it, we're gonna get it going. Keep in mind there will be affiliate links for this knife and any other knife that you see in this video down in the description below. Those affiliate links, of course, help out this channel at no extra cost to you. With that being said, let's get things started here the same way that we always do, with a quick measurement on this bad boy. This one comes in exactly at 8 inches, maybe a hair. We're probably right at 8 inches overall. Total length, as far as edge, we're dealing with a total of around 3.4, 3.35 blade length, and then cutting edge is more like 3 1/4, and then handle is around 4.75 on the handle right there. Let's get some size comparisons done. This is a medium to large knife. Certainly feels really good, not too big, not too small, the perfect size in my opinion. So let's do the typical here, the PM2, check it out right there, the Para 3, and I want to say this guy's probably a little bit shorter than the PM2. We'll do a few more. Here is the Demko AD 20.5 in the Shark's foot blade. Here is the Shark's Cub. All right, check it out, the new Shark Cub with the smaller size. This one's on the Shark's foot blade, this one's on the lighter blade. So it's actually a little bit bigger than the 80/20.5 on the Shark's foot blade. All right, so yeah, definitely larger than both of these. Here is the Rat Model 1 and the Rat Model 2. It is going to be shorter than the Rat Model 1, but larger than the Rat Model 2. Again, it has a really good size. It's not too big, not too small. Really good medium to large size to it. And we'll do one more. Here is the Pyrite, CJRB Pyrite, and the Pyrite Alt with the Wharncliffe blade. And yes, this guy's going to be just a little bit larger than both of those. And again, this is just to give you a ballpark idea. So in case you own some of these knives, very popular knives, then you know somewhat the ballpark for the Model 1. So yeah, definitely a very, very interesting knife made in the US 100%. Michael Martin, I believe, is the owner of American Blade Works. So make sure to check him out on IG, on Instagram. And I believe, yeah, every part of this knife is done 100% by himself in his shop, and definitely 100% made in the States, which is pretty interesting. Something to keep in mind, right? As you know, we typically support Spyderco and Microtech knives that make knives in the States. You know, I am American, so I'm going to be biased. Of course, I'm going to be supporting knives that are made, you know, in our country, of course. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about that, about this guy. What do we have going on as far as materials on this bad boy? So we do have the Ultim going on the scales here, and I gotta tell you, it is my first experience with the Ultim, and honestly, I didn't know what to think about the Ultims. People have a lot of mixed feelings about it. Some say, you know, it's it looks like pee. Some say, you know, it's really good, better than G10. What I will tell you though, this being my first experience, is the fact that it is very, very smooth, right? It feels good. I don't have any complaints here. It has a good amount of grip, also very comfortable. I like how they rounded, you know, all the edges here all throughout. That was very, very nice, you know, which is good. And honestly, it feels really good. So, you know, you kind of have to like the whole yellow aesthetics to it. If you do, then I feel like this will be in your ballpark. For me, I don't mind, right? Having a knife in Ultim, just like I have one in jade G10, right? It's just having something different. So all knives are not titanium and all knives are not stainless steel or G10, right? Something different. It's definitely a good thing for change. So I'm glad that they did this option here. There is even a titanium version of this bad boy, which I would love to check out. It looks really, really nice. If you haven't seen it yet, there's a handful of channels that have featured the titanium handles on the Model 1, which, I mean, it looks really, really good. Hopefully sometime in the future I'm able to check that out. As far as blade, we have, again, a Wharncliffe flat grind going on here with Magna Cut steel. So you already know Magna Cut is the business. Really good premium steel here. We'll talk a little bit more later on, but yeah, very solid option here for the price point. And we'll talk a little bit more about price and things like that later on as well. This guy is a liner lock. Okay, got a liner, steel liners going on here, which are recessed. And you have one deployment option and one deployment option only, and that is the flipper. We'll talk more about that later as well. Good D10, right? This D10 is not super, it's well tuned, right? It's not soft, and it's also not extra stiff. So good amount of tension to it, so you don't feel it. Even if I try to do it as softly as I possibly can, I'm still going to getting it deployed each and every single time. So yeah, some good stuff going on here. Let's do some carry profile here next to the PM2. So it's going to be a little bit about the same as the PM2, if I'm being honest, and therefore the Para 3. Here is the Demko AD 20.5. It's going to be a little bit slimmer here, and the gravity scales. Wrap Model 1, probably a little bit thicker. There you go. And Wrap Model 2 is going to be a little bit slimmer. Okay, let's do length and height in the pocket. Let's set it up like that, maybe like this. There we go. All right, perfect. So let's see. Yeah, definitely next to the PM2 and Para 3 is going to take a lot less space. It is a little bit on the wide side because of the fact that the blade does stick out a significant portion from the handle, but not anything near as much as the PM2 or Para 3. As for the Demko AD 20.5 and Shark Cub, all right, very comparable, right? These have a blade that also sticks out a significant portion from the handle, and it's probably a little bit less than the AD 20.5 and probably just as much as the Shark Cub. And here we have the Wrap Model 1. Here we have the Wrap Model 2, probably as much as the Wrap Model 1, still being a little bit thinner. The Wrap Model 2, of course, is going to be very, very slim compared to the, yeah, this guy's also called the Model 1. Wrap Model 1, ABW Model 1, right? You get the idea right there. So they do make different versions of the Model 1. They have a drop point blade with some belly to it. Of course, they got this Wharncliffe one, which honestly is my favorite. If you know anything about me and the kind of knives that I love to EDC, a Wharncliffe or a sheep's foot blade is going to be, in my opinion, the one that's going to give you the most utility, right? Doing those draw cuts on this very pokey tip right here is going to be perfect. You can do the pinch grip as well, right? The edge is completely flat, a flat line there, and that edge is super sharp. This thing is super slicey. We're going to be doing some cutting tests later on with this bad boy, and you'll see this thing in action. It definitely cuts really good. Ergonomics on this guy, again, I mentioned the Ultim handles on this one are really good and rounded on the edges, but also check out the fact that it has this very Kershaw leak type of handle to it. I mentioned this during the unboxing, which really makes it very comfortable, right? Really comfortable, right? You got starts thin here, which a index finger guard with the flipper there, right? And then nice and round here towards the end. I have medium hands, not the biggest, not the smallest. And as you can clearly see there, right, I'm able to use the entire handle and it's very comfortable. I could probably forward choke here if I'm very careful, right? Just put the pressure back here and get some control cuts that way if I wanted to. That's also a possibility, even though there isn't necessarily per se a defined finger choil there. I still can get some work done that way. Yeah, the pocket clip is deep carry for the most part, not ultra deep carry. You have about this much of the knife still showing out of the pocket there. It is reversible, so you can mount it on the other side, which is good, right? I'm glad that they thought about that for lefties also. Pocket clip is executed in such a way where it's actually very comfortable too. When I'm bearing down on it, I barely feel that pocket clip right there. It's just a nice straight line right there. Good amount of tension to it. And it goes in and out of the pocket very easy, right? So nice some jimping going on here in the back of the spine. right? That jimping is really good for those cuts right there to get a really good grip on the knife. Also, check out the titanium, right? This is titanium. We checked that during the unboxing. The titanium backspacer here. The knife, the magnet wants to pull to the sides because these are stainless steel liners, but this is a titanium backspacer going on there, which is nice. A little crown pattern going on to it, right? Gives you additional grip right there. So honestly, a really good, comfortable knife to use. I don't really made a ton of cuts with this knife, you know, even though I carry it, I tried it, I tested it. It is still not my knife, so it's not like I went crazy cutting like 20 to 40 boxes or anything like that. But I did get some cuts here and there, and this guy certainly performs. It is a very functional blade right there for utility cuts, draw cuts. Really outstanding knife. So it has a really good strong D10. As I mentioned earlier, it's not super stiff and it's not super soft, which is good. You already know MagnaCut, done in the States, very likely. I don't have the exact HRC numbers, but probably the heat treat on this MagnaCut is likely done very well. And yeah, this is just one guy in his shop from what I understand. This is not a massive company like Spyderco or Microtech. This is one guy in his shop doing everything himself. Like, check out the pivot right there. It says made in the USA. Honestly, I mean, this is a really good knife, and I've been really impressed with it. Like, honestly, super impressed. There's even some lines to the Ultim there that gives you additional texture, which is good, right? Very smooth, very nice to, you know, EDC, honestly, perfect size. Is there any milling going on inside? I don't see much milling going on. There are some round circles, small circles here and there, but nothing crazy. So no, not a lot of milling going on in the liners. And that being said, let's get a good weight on it. It is actually a pretty good weight knife. So it's not too heavy, not too light. And it comes in at around 4.1 ounces. 4.1 ounces, which is really good. Perfect weight for EDC right there, if you ask me. The blade right there, let's check the stock thickness on this bad boy. I mentioned it's slicey, so we have 0.12, right? So similar to your, let's say, I think Spyderco, right? Like PM2 and such. Well, that's 0.14. So yeah, even, you know, even thinner than something like a PM2, right? 0.12. So yeah, very thin blade right there, full flat grind until almost the very top part. You do see that line right there. That's when the full flat grind stops. And you do have a nice sharpening choil going on here, which they did very well. Gives you the ability to get a good number of sharpens out of this bad boy, right? The plunge grind starts here and ends about right there where my nail is. And of course you could probably, yeah, I don't see a stop pin anywhere here. So you could probably make yourself another sharpening choil higher up if you wanted to drill your own. So that's not bad. Let's do a hardware check here as we typically do. Of course, my tools are highly recommendable. They're part of the Strebito tool set, and these are linked down below if you want to check it out for yourself. I'm thinking here we have a pretty big pivot, probably a T15. Let's say, yeah, that looks bigger than T10. All right, so T15 in the pivot, and it's just one side because the other one is D-shaped. All right, so one side, T15. And did they go big hardware everywhere else? It looks that way. Let's see, T8. Hold on, what's going on here? Okay, so not T8. Is it T6? Also not T6. Wait a second. T7? That'll be odd. What's going on? All right, that's really strange. So it's not a T8. My T8 doesn't go in there all the way. And a T7, yeah, a T7 kind of wiggles a little bit in there. Just wiggles a tiny bit. So yeah, I'm not sure. I'll definitely confirm here at the bottom. I'm gonna try it again. T8, that T8 is too big. So that's interesting. T15 and T7, that's something, right? It definitely beats T6, but I mean, T7, come on, you could have gone T8 all the way if you ask me. But yeah, T7 it seems. to be right there. So I would have liked to have seen T8 at least on this one. It is a premium knife, so a T8 would have been very, very welcome here. The access to the lock bar or liner lock right there is pretty good. It's also jimped, and this one is a pretty aggressive jimping. Every time I activate it, it leaves pretty much those teeth on my thumb. So that is one thing I noticed. It's also possible to kind of squeeze your thumb in between the Ultim scale and the liner right there when you squeeze or push to the left. That did happen to me a couple of times. And, you know, I did carry this guy for multiple days back to back. So I noticed that on my thumb a bit. So perhaps they could have done away with the jimping here. It kind of, you know, beats up your thumb for no reason. It's not like the liner is extra stiff. It's easy and nice to push out of the way. Those teeth just kind of eat at your thumb there. Other than that, again, bigger hardware would have been nice. And the only other nitpick that I have on this guy, and this is the only thing, right? This knife is perfect. I love everything about it. I like this combination in Ultim, and definitely I'm looking forward to checking out the titanium one as well. But if there's anything that I would have liked on this knife is some thumb studs, right? We got a, you know, nice cutout here on both sides actually. So a nice thumb stud placed right there. Boom, another deployment option would have been nice. Now, I'm able to deploy it basically putting enough pressure on the blade. Like, check that out, right? Crazy, right? I'm able to deploy it as if I had a thumb stud, even though I don't have one, which is, you know, it kind of gives you an idea there as far as what you can and can't do. But obviously with a thumb stud, it would be more reliable. You wouldn't have to put so much pressure on the blade, you know, that could perhaps mess with the alignment down the road. By the way, the alignment on this thing is spot on, right on the money there. But yeah, some thumb studs would have been welcome, and honestly, it would have helped with the reverse flick. I can't tell you how many times after carrying this knife I went for a different deployment option that wasn't the flipper, and I just had to keep reminding myself, wait a second, no, we don't have any thumb studs there. No, you can't reverse flick it, right? And call me a fidget, you know, madman or what have you. I do like knives that are fidgety, right? I do like knives that have multiple deployment options. So if I'm gonna pay good money for a knife that I like, I definitely enjoy it, you know, it possibly having as many deployment options as it possibly can fit with the design. And I feel like some thumb studs here would have come clutch. If they even make a version with a blade cutout or opening hole, that would have been even better. You know, something like on the, you know, on the Pyrite here, on the Pyrite alt, right? That this opening right here, believe it or not, makes it so you can thumb deploy it, you can reverse flick it all day, every day. And it just seems like there's just enough room to make either a peel shape opening like this one, right there on the blade, or perhaps, you know, some simple thumb studs. You know, throw some thumb studs on there and bam, you are good to go. So that's, you know, one of the only things that I noticed. But other than that, I love this knife. I love the blade geometry on this bad boy. Super slicey, super ergonomically friendly. As a matter of fact, let's get some paper cuts out here. And from now on, I'm going to be recycling some of my notebook paper where I draw my notes for these review videos. So I'm running out of printer paper. So yeah, I definitely would get some curls going on there, and look at that full slice right there. Bam. Yes, this thing is going to slice. Cut there a little bit. You guys rate it in the comments on a scale from 1 through 10. How sharp is this guy? And keep in mind, this is not factory sharp or anything. This knife has been making its round through the knife pass around, so it definitely has seen some use and it's still holding a pretty good edge. Let's test some cardboard here really quick. Remember, when cutting cardboard, don't cut perpendicular like this, but at an angle like that is better. This one is double cardboard right here, so it's probably a little bit more challenging. Let's see how it does. Bam. Yeah, this guy, again, slices really, really good. And one last one. Yeah. All right, you guys let me know in the comments, how did it do, all right? Rate it from 1 through 10. How sharp is this guy? How much of an edge it has retained? Well, there you have it, guys. That is the American Blade Works Model 1. There's a Model 2 out there as well. Hopefully I can check that one out soon here in the channel as well. Again, shout out to Lefty EDC and JD for EDC, both of them, for the opportunity to check this guy out. Hopefully I can check out the Model 2 here sometime in the very near future. One thing that I will say about this knife is it comes in at a great price point, right? I believe it is around $250 or perhaps a little bit less. Definitely check out those links below for any sales that may be going on or any price drops or things like that. Especially now, since, you know, during the holidays, pretty much everyone is discounting knives and such. So you definitely need to check that out. We got some premium materials going on here. We got the steel right there, right? The Ultim, for the most part, the industry considers to be a premium material over G10, even though it's not titanium or anything. The mill titanium on this guy, which is the option I will go for, is done very, very nice. Some really sweet looking uniform lines. It's really good. So that would be the one that I would definitely want to check out. And honestly, I really would love for this to have some additional deployment options, but if that's not an issue for you and you love Wharncliffe blades, or even if you like a nice drop point, they have it on a drop point blade also. And again, made in the US. You're looking to support US manufacturers, you know, folks who design and make their own knives, you know, in their shop here in the US, right? You gotta check out Michael Martin and American Blade Works. And that's about it, guys. So I give you the good, the bad, the ugly, everything you need to know about the knife before you make yourself an educated purchasing decision. Let me know if I missed anything in the comments, anything you want to know, any questions you have about this knife. Let me know. I'll be happy to answer those for you. Let's hang out down there in the comments. By the way, if you made it to this point in the video and you haven't hit the like button, then what are you waiting for? It is absolutely free and it helps out this video reach a larger audience. Go ahead and subscribe as well, because I make content like this on an ongoing basis and you would not want to miss out anything. They got tons and tons of knives that are coming in that I would definitely want to share with you guys. So make sure you subscribe, you turn on those notifications. If you want to support the channel a step further, there's a link down there for Patreon, or you can simply consider becoming a member of the channel here on YouTube. By the way, chances are by the time you're watching this video, the unboxing for the Kunwu Chad, another awesome EDC knife that I'm currently checking out right now, chances are this unboxing is available. If that's the case, I'm going to put a card for this video here for you guys to check that one out next. Again, if you made it to this point, you guys are the real MVPs. I love you all. I appreciate all of your support, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.